Did you know that your pig feed is the single greatest expense in raising your pigs? So getting the right feed, even if it costs a little bit more, is crucial to raising your pigs effectively and even cheaper. I'm Rob from Dowdle Family Farms, and I've been raising pastured pigs now for nearly 7 years. I've had both good and bad feeds, and I've made a lot of mistakes. In this video, let's take a look at everything about feeding our pigs, from how large they're going to get, to how much feed we want to give them, to what kind of feed to get them, and their nutritional needs at various stages in their lives. Now let me be clear, this video is about raising your standard meat pigs, Chester Whites, Berkshires, Hampshires, Durocs, Blue Butts, many of those meat-based pig genetics and those crosses between them. It does not include the nutritional needs of the lard breeds like Idaho pasture pigs, Kune, Mangalitsa, American guinea hogs, and others. What target weight and how large should they be when you're sending them to the processor? Your answer to this will depend on your goals. You may want to raise your pigs anywhere between 250 and 350 pounds or more, but it depends on how they're growing. Plus, pigs generally put on muscle and frame size before putting on fat. If you want a less fatty pig, process them at 250 pounds. However, if you want to have more intramuscular marbling, in other words, more fat in the muscles, and if you want to have pork chops that look more like ribeyes, then you want to let them grow to about 350 pounds or so live weight, depending on your genetics. If you have a long pig, it may take they may have to get to 400 pounds before they finish out right. Also, the pigs will consume more food to put on that extra fat, so you don't want them to be too fat, or you'll be spending a lot of money for fat and not meat. Now, how much feed will your pigs eat? Each standard meat pig will consume between 800 and 1,200 pounds of a standard, well-balanced swine feed to get to 300 to 350 pound market weight. In my area, feed costs about $450 per ton, so $250 for the feed, depending on how large they are when we get them and how big we want them to be at processing. Feeder pigs require slightly different nutrition at different stages in their lives. In large swine operations, they'll custom mix feeds at every stage of life. For most small farms, you'll only be giving them 1 or maybe 2 standard feeds. If you get really small pigs, 25 pounds or so, the biggest thing is you want to give them more nutritious feeds in that earlier stages. They have a difficult time processing the protein in soy and other feeds. CAFOs often add some kind of fish meal, powdered milk, or another good source of lysine that's not soy-based for pigs at this stage. If you have some that are less than 40 pounds, just know that it'll take them a while to gain weight. If you have access to whey or pasteurized milk or small amounts of fish meal, it'll help them gain a little bit better until they reach that 40 or 50 pound mark. Just know that feed is usually much more expensive, and it's not available to small farmers. Now, once the pigs are weaned, they should perform well on a 16% hog grower. I use the same feed for all my pigs, the growers, the sows, the boar, the gilts, and the boarlings that I'm getting ready for breeding. Even though this video is not about breeding sows, let me step in here and just mention a couple things. Breeding sows need additional nutrients, particularly calcium and phosphorus. I make sure that I grow forages that contain higher levels of these nutrients, so mine tend to get what they need from pasture. But if you're breeding sows, make sure your feed includes elevated levels of calcium and phosphorus, and for the love of the pigs, do not give the sows free choice feed. They'll get too big and have birthing problems. Now, if you purchase a 40 to 50 pound feeder pig, you can expect it to be ready for processing within 5 to 7 months. And this will vary a little bit depending on the pigs you choose and the processing weight that you're targeting. Some people will switch to a finisher diet when the pigs get 100 to 200 pounds. On a small scale, I don't think you'll see much difference in performance or cost. Even with 100 pigs, it's not worth it for me having 2 different feed options. So what kind of feed should you be giving your new piglets? The standard hog ration in the United States is a corn, soy-based feed with a mineral pack. The corn offers most of the energy, and the soybean meal offers the protein, particularly protein in a diverse amino acid profile. Pigs are picky about the amino acids that they need and the protein that they need. If the amino acid profile is not right, it doesn't matter what percentage of protein you give your pigs, they won't grow as well as they should. Now, we'll discuss this further in the next video, but all that to say, soybean meal has a good mix of the amino acids that pigs need to grow effectively. If you don't like a conventional corn, soy-based feed ration, there are several options that you can use. You can go with a non-GMO feed. This means that the grain crops the feed mix is created with have grains harvested from crops that are not genetically modified. It can eliminate some of the glyphosate sprayed on the corn, but it doesn't mean that glyphosate is not going to be used in the prepping your fields or at other times. The corn can still absorb glyphosate. And of course, there are organic standards as well. None of them are really in my area, and I have better options on my farm that I'll address in a future video about grazing pigs on cover crops. Additionally, some people prefer a corn-free or a soy-free feed. The primary source of protein that replaces the soy typically depends on your location and what's available. In the southern part of the U.S., it'll often be a peanut-based ingredient. Though in cooler climates, I've seen peas be a dominant ingredient to make up the protein. It all depends on your geographical location, depending on the cost and the availability. I've tried peanut-based feeds and the hogs did not seem to perform very well on it. I ended up having to go feed more of an expensive feed that cost more to get the same weight gain. This was just my experience for me. I know some producers who say peanut is the best product for pigs. I suspect that some of the feed mills just don't have the expertise to deal with the alternative protein sources and supplementing with quality amino acids, but that's just my suspicion. Now, my recommendation is to start with a standard corn-soy-based feed with a mineral pack. I'm still using a standard corn-soy product. If you want to try something else later, you can. But unless you absolutely cannot tolerate pork fed with corn or soy, I'd try that standard feed mix. Then if you want to try something different, at least you have a base of comparison on how the pigs are performing, what their costs actually are, and how much more it's going to cost you to raise the pigs in a different way. Now, in terms of cost comparison, in my area, non-GMO feed costs about 40% more than standard, and an organic corn-soy-free feed is 3 times the price, not counting shipping. So to get an organic corn-soy feed to my farm would cost me nearly $1,700 per ton. Now, there are a couple other options worth looking into when deciding which feed we want to purchase. First, how fresh is the feed? In my observation, many big box retailers do not rotate their feed stock as much as they should. This is something that's really, really important. When grain is milled, it oxidizes quickly. Usually, it's best to use it within 30 days of milling if you can. To get the best feed, you may have to use a local farm supply store that pays more attention, or you need to purchase directly from a local feed mill. Second, do you feed whole grains, pelletized feed, or ground feed? I'd stay away from whole grains initially. Pigs don't process whole grains very well. That's just a fact of life. Plus, smaller sized products like mineral packs and soybean meal will fall through those whole grains like corn, barley, wheat, and whatever else. It's worth feeding a ground feed. There's a lot of research indicating that the particle size influences the nutrient availability. I won't get into it here, don't really understand it all, but a finely ground product typically works really well. Plus, when the mineral pack is included, it doesn't drop through all those other things and mixes better than it does with whole grain. Now, we feed pelletized feed ingredients. They're ground, mixed, and then run through a pelletizing machine. On pasture, I've just found that when the feed is spilled or dropped from feeders, pelletized feed there's less waste than a completely ground feed. Now, third, you'll hear some recommendations on fermenting and soaking swine feed before giving it to the pigs because it increases the nutrient availability and other factors. And while this is true to some extent, I've also seen research indicating that a lot of the lysine and other feed additives are not as readily available to the pigs if they're fermenting. If you're using whole grains, it may work, but I'm not convinced of its efficacy of using ground products. Now, occasionally I'll ferment some corn and dump it around stumps or brush piles that I want the pigs to root up. But I stopped fermenting feed a long time ago because it's labor intensive, especially when you have over 100 some odd pigs. Maybe it's worthwhile with a couple pigs. I'm not sure that it really is. Finally, you need to consider how easy it is to get your feed. I used to use a non-GMO feed delivered in bulk bags. It was priced pretty well, and it was delivered to our farm. It took me a day or so to put the bags up and to transfer them into bulk containers. I had to turn the forks on my loader upside down and drive the tractor on cross ties to unload it all. It was quite stupid. Finally, I realized that it wasn't worth the danger to the people around me, the equipment, and I started using lead from a local co-op that got it from a local mill. They have it delivered in bulk bags. They set the bulk bags inside an IBC tote that I modified to handle the bags from the bottom and empty them from the bottom. It's so much safer and simpler. My point is this, the ease of getting your feed is critical. If you use a couple tons at a time like I do, it's a lot of work handling the 80, 50-pound bags and dumping them in this feeder. You got to handle it 3 times and it's just a lot of work. Or if you want to feed organic feed and have to travel 200 miles to get it, only to let the rodents tear into your feed sacks before you can feed it, it's worth considering the resources you have available and the energy, time, and safety when you're getting your feed. Now, feeding pigs is pretty simple, but it can be expensive. You can save a lot of money by supplementing your pig's feed with alternative feeds. You can also spend a lot more time, money, and energy feeding them something that's free. In order to capitalize on the time and energy that you invest, you need a better understanding of swine nutrition. In the next video in this series, I'll introduce you to some issues relating to swine nutrition with a view toward helping you evaluate the quality of the feed you feed your pigs. So check out that video. If you got some value out of this video, please share it with people you think may find some value out of it as well. It'll help more people feed their pigs effectively. Until next time, take care and have a great day.